Hey, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? I'm at a different wall today, and I'm solo today as well. Welcome, thank you for watching another episode of All in Society. I'll be working on some more branding and t-shirts, hats, and those things um, this fall and this winter. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, I'll continue to post this on Facebook until I get a little bit more traction on the YouTube page, and then I'll exclusively go to the YouTube page. But thank you for joining me today. If you're wondering why I'm at a different blank wall, and we'll work on that as well, get some visuals. I've been looking at some paintings. I'm going around some local galleries and trying to find something that's appealing and something that speaks to me and something that speaks to the show and the overall theme of what I'm trying to bring to you guys each and every episode. But today I'm in a hotel in the outskirts of Philadelphia because I am attending tonight at 6 o'clock. I believe the door is open. It's 3:50. I'm attending Wallstreet Trapper's Trappin Tuesday live. It's the last stop of his Recession tour. I believe the last stop he was in Dallas. Don't quote me on that, but I watched that on YouTube. He went to, I think he went to New Orleans as well, maybe Chicago, and a few other, Atlanta for sure, and a couple other places. Put on a live show, but I love his production, and that's what's going to be pretty much the theme of this episode. Um, and as well, we'll bring in I'll provide some of the information and some of the feedback that I have from InvestFest. If you guys aren't familiar with Earn Your Leisure and Troy and Rashad from Earn Your Leisure, watch their show, and um, they have a festival every year, and they've had it for the past 3 years called InvestFest. And this year it was 20,000, probably 20,000 plus in Atlanta, the Georgia World Congress Center for a weekend, talking about stocks, crypto, real estate, investing, just financial literacy in general. And it was vast majority are black and brown folks just coming together and networking and trying to move together as a community. Talking about AI as well, of course. AI was a big theme, especially in the stock market this year. But hitting back onto Wallstreet Trapper, I found him because of Earn Your Leisure. That's why I've been brought up Earn Your Leisure. Um, I've I found out about Wallstreet Trapper, I believe, by attending InvestFest last year. And he came on stage. He had a lot of energy. He's talking about the stock market, so that's something that I'm interested in now, especially since I no longer work in the casino industry in Maryland right now. I put that on the hold for the moment. I might get back into it, but probably not in the state of Maryland. I'd probably want to take my experience and go back out west and work in Vegas and see what kind of opportunity would be available out there. But for right now, I'm happy being in Maryland. But getting back to Wallstreet Trapper, I found him at InvestFest, and at the time, I still wasn't really really interested in the stock market. I really didn't understand it. It was a lot of big words, and it was just very confusing to me. But as I kept following Earn Your Leisure, I started watching Market Mondays. And I want you guys to go on YouTube, and everybody, if you're not familiar with Market Mondays, just go to YouTube, search Market Mondays, and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, they have a show and they talk about some of the same things that I discussed that they brought to light and shared insight and knowledge on and brought a panel of experts in, like an InvestFest. But here they really talk about the stock market. It's Troy Millings and Rashad Bilal, and they also have the Master Investor, is what he calls himself. I believe that's what his Instagram is, Ian Dunlop. And so those three go on show pretty much every week, and they talk about the stock market, some of the things that's moving the stock market forward, and some of the things that's possibly bringing it down. Ian talks about his kind of his bread and butter well, maybe not necessarily his bread and butter, but he tells beginners to buy 2 index ETFs and then buy 2 tech stocks, and you kind of ride that. So he suggests like Apple and Microsoft, and then you can buy like the S&P 500. He in one of the episodes suggested VOO, Vanguard ETF, that pretty much mocks the S&P 500. And pretty much, if you're not familiar with S&P 500, think of it as like the benchmark of how everybody says how the market is going every year. S&P 500 has the 500 best companies out of the total of all the companies in the stock market, if I'm not mistaken. I could get that information wrong. Make sure you do your own research, of course. There's disclaimers that I'll have, and I'll read usually, typically in every episode as well. So I'm not an expert at this. I'm really, a lot of the times, guys, I'm just regurgitating information that I have myself found from going to the Recession tour, like with Wallstreet Trapper, or going to InvestFest. So with all that being said, invested in VOO. You can do VTI, which is the total stock market. I like VIG, which is a blend of dividend stocks. And then it also has a play of Apple and Microsoft in there as well. United Healthcare, a couple of other companies, just trying to think off the top of my head that are in there. Home Depot, uh, Visa, kind of big, large companies, large market caps where there's not going to be too much crazy movement in the price of those stocks. So those are kind of safe places to put your money and invest and make sure you have a diversified portfolio. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So you want to build a diversified portfolio just in case one, say, technology stocks in that sector is going down. If your money's spread out and not just in technology stock, well, more than likely you're not going to suffer big losses. So with all that, I know I'm being real long-winded and going on a little bit of a tangent and a rant, but all that to kind of say, by listening and watching Earn Your Leisure and Market Mondays, make sure you search and watch those guys every Monday on YouTube. I found Wallstreet Trapper. And as I started watching Wallstreet Trapper, he incorporates hip hop, he incorporates music, and he kind of brings like street lingo. You guys can do your own research about his background. It took some time for me to kind of get over his, I guess, things that I don't relate with and that's happened in his life, because I try not to make sure that I put myself in those situations to kind of go through the things that he's gone through. But we all have our own trials and tribulations. We all have our own path that we have to go through. So I kind of look past all that and I stuck to the facts. It just seems like he knows what he's talking about. He's authentic, and he's helping me understand the stock market and really figure out how to maneuver day to day in and out of the stock market. I typically don't like to do a lot of like day trading. I'm a buy and hold person. I like to buy a company or equity or a stock or whatever you want to call it and hold it long term. Now, if you buy it today and the story is the sky is blue, right? Just kind of just basic examples. But 30 days later, the story has changed. Now the sky is yellow. Well, maybe even though I bought it in these terms initially 30 days ago, well, the story has changed. Maybe now, even though I wanted to ride this out long term, maybe it's time to it's time to sell if I'm up, or even if you're down, it's time to cut my losses because the story has changed. I've got some of that feedback and that information or that mindset of thinking how to deal with the stock market through Wallstreet Trapper. And so a lot of this is free information that's all on YouTube, right? And so when you have live events like this, I just feel like number one, I love his production. I want to see it live. I want to see his team working and hopefully be able to see them. They're not all behind the scenes. I want to see it live. I want to see it all happening in real time. And because that's really what I want to build. I don't want to just do this by myself and talk to myself. Stefan's been on. I've had a couple other people on. Derek, Yasser, he's a poker player. Derek is I don't know if he's but he's a past coworker from when I worked at MGM. And they all have their own stories. Some of them have products or services that they offer. and some of them are just folks that I bring on because I believe that they provide value, and they're just fun and interesting people to engage with and interact with in a setting like this. So I hope you watched the other episodes. If you watched those other episodes, I hope you've enjoyed those. If you haven't, if you're just watching this, and if you're at all enjoying what I'm saying, or if I'm providing any type of value or entertainment for you, make sure you tune in the other episodes. The other episodes, I really take my time to really have great conversations and learn from those individuals that I've had on the show with me. Stefan and I just talk really sports, but Yasser and I talk poker. Derek and I, he's a author. He's been through a lot. He has an amazing story. He has a book that's out on Amazon that you can buy. So make sure you check out those other episodes on my YouTube page as well. You won't be able to find them on Facebook, so you have to migrate over to YouTube to watch the other episodes. But this episode, I wanted to bring light to Recession Tour, Wallstreet Trappers, Trappin Tuesdays. That's homework number 2. Homework number 1, look up Earn Your Leisure and Market Mondays on YouTube. And homework number 2, look up Trappin Tuesdays so you can see what exactly I'm going to see and see if that's something you're interested in going to in the future. And also go to investfest.com, and then you can see exactly what I attended this past month in August in Atlanta, and see the panel of experts such as Steve Harvey, Robert Smith, Kathy Woods. There's a plethora of other people on there. There's Cam Newton was there. Rich Paul was there. I'm missing a lot of Diddy. How did I forget Diddy? Diddy was like the main attraction for the show. He was there and he spit a lot of game. And that actually, you can see that interview on YouTube if you just search Earn Your Leisure. So make sure you tune into these guys. They've really changed my life. Because of it, I've lost some people in my life, and I think there's pros and cons to that. Now, obviously, you never want to lose people that you care about in your life, right? But if you lose people because you want to push your life forward and you're kind of trying to reinvent yourself and move forward, some people you can't take on that path with you. Some people aren't willing to go on that path with you. But as long as you know you're doing the right thing and you're doing what makes you happy, and at the end of the day, this is what how you get a fulfillment out of life, or if this is what is going to be your legacy. Like I'm starting this business, that's going to be my legacy. I might not have children, so I want to leave something that's impactful, that helps and shapes other people, other generations in the future. And I have a plethora of ideas, and I'm just going to hone in and 1 or 2 of them and really hit home next year, and really dig into some things this fall and this winter. Dig in some things personally, and then dig in some things about the business and really get to it. And so I hope you can do the same thing. And this is kind of motivation, inspiration for you to do whatever you are inspired to do with your life, whatever you're passionate about. I'm always a proponent of doing what you're passionate about. I've done that since in high school, went off to college, and then made some decisions that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with, especially my parents. But now things are starting to pan out, and one way or the other. But life's too short, right? The pandemic has told us that life is too short. We can't take things for granted, and so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm pushing the pedal to the metal, and I'm really going for some things that are really, to this day, don't seem really attainable. But baby steps, and if you network and you push forward, and you battle through that loneliness and that fear of doubt, and there's a lot of noise, right? There's a lot of people and naysayers going to tell you can't do something because they can't do it, right? And there's going to be people in your life that you want to come with you along this path, but you can't bring with you on this path, and you just kind of have to get over it, and you have to move forward, because this is your path and this is your journey. You can't take everybody on your journey. So I hope if you needed to hear that, I'm going through this personally, and so if you ever need anybody to talk to, you can always reach me on my social medias on Instagram. I will I will leave my handles anywhere that I possibly can on YouTube. My Instagram is at underscore. Let me get this correct for you guys. It's all underscore in underscore CP2, the number 2. You can check in with me, link up with me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Just search Claude Purchase. Me and my father have the same name, but it's pretty easy to distinguish between me and my father. His account's probably not even active. So look for the All In Society logo, branding, and stay tuned for some more content and products and services that I have in the pipeline. I'm going to build the game of poker, and I want to also bring some people into the game of poker, and in turn, kind of those people are probably a little bit not willing to really put money into the stock market because they don't really trust it. They are a little scared, a little nervous. So I want to kind of bring you in by teaching you poker. Poker is a lot easier, and I can teach you how to play poker in a day, right? Then when you get in a little bit more, once people really start digging a little bit deeper and start thinking about the game more so of just playing your cards or playing your opponent, then I can kind of take you from there. Then we can go and we can kind of dive and peel the layers of the onion back and some of the similarities of what I see in the stock market and in playing cards at the same time. And then I believe we'll be able to move forward towards the investing in the stock market or real estate or other things that will seem a little bit riskier, especially in the Black and brown community. We everybody wants to buy a home, right? But with the prices and everything, um, where they are right now, it's not very attainable to purchase your first home right now. So I want to give everybody the plethora of all the options that are available. And how am I doing that? I'm deep in the EYL University, and I'm also online. I'm reading books and I'm researching all possible ways that I can help my friends and family become homeowners themselves. Because I've seen people back in 2019 have the same opportunity to purchase a home, but they didn't want to take the time to do the research and really dive in and see what is actually possible and what opportunities were available for them. So I took the opportunity in 2019, purchased my home, and is it the prettiest home on the block? Absolutely not. But that home has definitely appreciated a nice chunk of cash for me. And in a pinch, if I needed to do something, I know that I could sell my home, and I know that it's something I can. It's an investment, and it's also because I don't plan on living in that house the rest of my life, right? This is just the first home to kind of get me through the door and figure out the process. So now I want to be able to fix the home up, give all the bells and whistles, have somebody else go in there, and then rinse and repeat. And we're going to play Monopoly. Everybody knows the game Monopoly, right? Well, let's play Monopoly in real life. Let's buy real estate. Let's buy stocks. Let's buy other companies to make money for us so we have passive income. And we can take money from other jobs that we have as well and invest that money. Because if your money's just sitting in the bank, your money's not you're losing money. Your money's not doing anything there. So I believe by getting people into the game of poker, learning how to really, then you start really thinking about, all right, flipping my money. I really want to put my money to use, but I don't want to just play cards because there's a lot of luck element involved in that, right? So I want to diversify. I want to learn the stock market. I want to learn how to trade options as well. That's something that I'm here for. The Recession tour. Wallstreet Trapper has a course, but it's $600. I want to come here first. I want to see what I can get here. I have a VIP package, so maybe I have a little bit extra insight and see, and maybe network and see with other people who have the option course. Is this working for you? I'm already playing cards kind of semi-professionally, so I know options are a little riskier as well. So I'm a little nervous too. But I want to real estate. Investing in the stock market by holding long term, learning options, just by learning, maybe not investing, but learning how to do it. Um, Starting my business, running my business, maybe buying another business that's existing business and it's already a profitable business and it's just somebody to run it. Maybe someone's retired. And there's a plethora of options that are available. AI, figure out how to leverage this and make some money doing that. So I can go on and on, guys, but this episode, I wanted to bring spotlight to Troy and Rashad of Earn Your Leisure, Wallstreet Trapper, InvestFest, the Podcast Summit. Those of you have listened to my podcast, this is a plug for the podcast as well. All in Society. Go to your favorite podcast network. Search in All in Society. Make sure you tune into the podcast. Make sure you download all the episodes. Listen to all of them. The podcast is really kind of like my diary. Stefan and I are really going over the football stuff on the past couple episodes. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to put that on the podcast. So it's kind of like fun, really digestible content you can listen to when you're working out. Just kind of funny, laid back stuff. Or when you're at home, you're on a run, or you're on a walk outside. Just something to do 15, 20 minutes out of your time when you're stuck in traffic and you just need something to kind of pass the time and put you in a good mood. We'll talk about sports, talk about finance, health. It pretty much summed a lot of things here, but I want this to be more educational and entertaining at the same time as well. And bringing, like I said, I have interviews lined up. It's all about scheduling them and getting everybody scheduled. A lot of people, I want to do these live shows on Tuesdays, so I want them to be live, but everybody's not able to do it live on Tuesday at the time that I need to do it. Already today, I'm out of town, so I'm changing the time here. So I want to do something that's at a consistent time. So I wanted to make sure I had something for you today at Tuesday to consume at least at 7 o'clock. If you pull it up, something's going to be there. It's just not going to be live for you if you come in at 7 o'clock tonight. So I appreciate you tuning in, regardless of what time, what day that you do tune in. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for more interviews. Check out the interviews with Derek and with Yasser, and then check out the football stuff with Stefan. If you enjoyed that, then tune into the podcast as well. I'll be putting the football stuff, the sports stuff. I'm a Washington Wizards fan, a Lions fan, born and raised in Michigan. So I'm feeling good that the Lions are actually respectable this year. Knock on wood, anything could happen. It is the Lions. But yeah, the podcast summit was awesome. I attended that in Miami. That was with David Shantz. Their podcast, let me pull it up real quick. I don't want to disrespect them. Social Proof. Oh boy, I don't know how I forgot that. Social Proof. I used to listen to them heavy. They have a great podcast. It is Donnie Wiggins and David Shantz. So their podcast summit, don't tell Troy and Rashad, but it was arguably better than InvestFest because it was smaller, it was more informal. It was a lot of information that I could kind of utilize and put to use immediately. So I enjoyed that. Unfortunately, the podcast, I've used some of it, but I've been doing the live shows and the video content. That's what's really everyone's been enjoying that more than just the podcast. Appreciate you for listening to the podcast, but I've been putting more emphasis. Oh Lord, excuse me. More emphasis on this video content because this is more consumable. This is more enjoyable to watch. You can see me. We can talk face to face. If we wanted to, we can even interact in the chat live. I don't see anybody in right now. I did get a thumbs up, a like from somebody, so thank you for that. I do appreciate that. But yeah, the podcast summits was very inspirational, motivational, educational. It's awesome. Make sure you also go to my YouTube page, All in Society, and you can see I did an interview there. I had a little something to drink, so I'm very passionate when I'm talking. And I was interviewed by a gentleman who was a great interviewer. He got the best out of me. He knew exactly where to take the conversation for me to kind of steer it and really make an impact. So I really appreciated him. Thank you, Carl. And EYL University is one I had on that. I kind of touched on it a little bit. So it's pretty much like an online school. You can learn about how to start a business, real estate, stocks, crypto, a little bit of everything. It's kind of like InvestFest, but it's online school. That's pretty much a subscription-based deal. I can't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't cheap. but it's definitely a great resource of information. But I have to get to the event. It is starting at 6 o'clock, so just under 2 hours from now. So I wanted to cut this episode a little short, just a short 25-minute episode. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting All in Society. I will have more people coming on alongside me in the future. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to do those promos like we did with Derek, getting them in the DC area and kind of whatever their element is, and kind of shooting them in live action, and then doing a live show later that day. I want to start local, and then next year I plan on doing a lot of traveling from through playing cards and just traveling and vacationing and really just enjoying life. Getting back to that because I kind of felt like a caged animal a little bit when I was working at MGM, and I appreciate the opportunity that was provided for me by working there. But I do miss being on the road again. I may even consider going back and dealing a couple events, to be quite honest with you. I miss it just traveling that much, and it kind of be paid vacation. I would only go to certain select places, and I'm not even familiar with a lot of the people that work at some of the places that I would be willing to go to. So I'd have to get back into the loop of things, maybe even supervising or whatever the case may be. But just to get back on the road, get back to that feel, I really enjoyed that, and I'm really missing it. So it might be something I'll be interested in doing. So I'll stay tuned in that. I'm going to the Bahamas to play poker at the end of this year, December 3rd through December 7th, playing a $1,500 tournament. It has, I believe, $5 million guaranteed in the prize pool. So if anybody's interested in getting a piece of that, you can just definitely hit me up. I'll be selling action to that leading up to the event. It's a little early for it, but if you want to lock up your piece right now, definitely don't hesitate. I'll definitely have conversations about that with anybody. So Bahamas, I'll be playing in Tunica next year. I believe there's 2 stops. Yes, 100%. There's one in January, and then there's a stop in April. My parents live very close to that Tunica stop, so it gives me the opportunity to play some cards and spend time with them. So I'm super excited about that. Be traveling and spending time with family over the holidays for Thanksgiving and Christmas as well. So we'll also be having some special shows during those times as well, and I have some of my family on. We'll have more friends, and I'll bring on more local people in the area, in the DMV area, business owners, some other poker players as well if they're interested in it. Some poker players seem a little scared. I don't like. A lot of people don't know who I am outside of just me being a manager or supervisor at MGM. So I think a lot of people just kind of like, it's weird. They don't know like what my motives are, amongst other things that they could be a little taken back about or have reservations for. But to each their own. If you don't want to be part of this, that's totally fine. This isn't for everybody. And I've noticed even in the poker community, even people that just gamble and win and lose money pretty freely. When you talk about investing or doing something productive with their money, they like kind of look at you crazy and they're not interested in that. So I know this isn't for everybody. For those of you that it is for, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not going to stop now. We're going to push forward. So thank you for enjoying. Thank you for attending, and I will speak to y'all later. Make sure you listen to the podcast tomorrow, and we'll basically do a recap of the NFL Week 3. We'll do all the fantasy scores, all the top performers. We'll go over all of my top 5 teams in the NFL, and we'll also give you my recap of exactly what went down here behind the scenes at Wallstreet Trapper's Recession Tour on Trappin Tuesdays. Have a wonderful Tuesday. See y'all later.